Today I'm going to get ready for a major upgrade to my game machine and my backup game machine. I'm going to unbox this X99 board, Asus Sabertooth board. 32 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance memory, and of course the Core i7 5930K. So we'll start with taking the X99 board out of its box. And we'll open her up here. These would be the plugs for the slots that will be open on the board and the fan. This is one hefty board. It has some substantial weight on it. I mean, it's a pretty nice board. So that the fan will go here. You can see here. Of course, your DDR4 memory will go here. Processor here. Graphics cards here. And your SATA ports are here. Here's the back side of it. And let's see what else is in the box. So put the board down over here. Of course, there's the driver CD that you go online for anyway and get what you want. Then the tough inside Asus logo, and also what does it say? Stay cool, be tough. Two different stickers you can put on your computer if you wish to. Take this out. Okay, your guarantee, your 5-year warranty for the board. It's very important. And it tells you what the 5-year warranty is. And the accessory installation guide. And a very long SLA jumper, which I won't be using. Insulated the back plate for the case. Take that out of there. I like these back plates they have. No more of that little prong sticking out that you have to get around with your motherboard. Of course, we got SATA cables, 6 of them, and the Q connectors, which I love. It just makes it so easy to unplug and plug the wires that you have to plug into the board. It just makes it so easy. I love these things. Okay. Let's get this stuff out of the way here. Oops. Box over here. Put the board right down here. I hope that crackling isn't too loud. So let's open up our Getting this up, that one up. Lift up the socket. You can see the 2011 pins. That's a lot. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to just drop this baby in there. The hell is this again? 5930K. The X79, it's a 3930K. doesn't come with a cooler. Don't need one anyhow because it's a water-cooled machine. They're both water-cooled machines, so I'm just going to snap this baby in there and so get this out of the way. Pretty hefty processor. I can put it in my palm of my hand and it fills it up. Okay. We look for the notches on the processor and also on the socket right there. So it goes in this way. It goes in this way. And this is the, I know this because there's the little arrow that I was looking for. Okay, so now I'm going to put this like this and push this guy down here. Just take this cover, keep these covers in case you have to take the processor off and return it, or take it off to put it on a different board or whatever. Okay, so we've got the processor on. You can see now we're going to install the memory. The memory is matched, so you want to match it to the four light colored sockets and the four black colored. They come nicely packaged. This is of course DDR4, and they are notched slightly different than should be the right direction. I guess let's not have it. There we go. Up all the way down. Take the next one. Goes in this slot order. Just push it here. Show in. Get this baby open. Okay. And there you have it. You have all 32 gig on there with the processor. I'll prepare. I'm going to cover these slots here, all these slots, and plug the slots that I'm not going to be using, and plus in the back here, where we have our I/O. These are 3.0 USB, and your audio and the light cable, two network jacks. This is the Rogue Reset. This is 3.1 USB, and these are USB 2. And this is, I believe, Not sure, but I think that's a test board. And of course your 4-pin and 8-pin for your processor. Yeah, that's a lot of processor voltage. And then you have a CPU fan, and I believe a chassis fan. And where are the other chassis fans here? It's a chassis fan, chassis fan, chassis fan. Yeah, plenty of chassis fans, so no problem. There you have it. That's the X99 motherboard. Is that cover on there? Looks like there's a cover on there, but there isn't. Like I say, this thing weighs about, I'd say it almost weighs 10 pounds. There you have it. My strategy for the upgrade is this. The backup game machine has an X58 board in it, which I'm going to use in another machine. But that board's coming out first because the CPU cooler that's on there, I'm going to use the water cooler, I'm going to use in this board. And then once I have that, I can have it mounted on here. I'll pull the board, and I pull the board out of the game machine. Then I can pull the board out of the main game machine and put that in the backup, and then I can mount this into the game machine. So I'll be showing that, and we'll be discussing some of the water cooling parts that I use in it and where I get them from. And I'll tell you, I really like these parts. It's going to make the job of changing the board out and taking the cards out very easy. So until then. This is the first machine that I'm going to tear down for this upgrade. This has the cooling heat sink on it that I need for the new one. This board, of course, is going to go someplace else, but you can see this is completely isolated. I do this, no spill. Okay, that's disconnected. This is disconnected. This is disconnected. You can see this is completely isolated. I don't even have to drain the cooler here. I will have to drain the two cards, but they're the only ones I'll have to drain. Okay, I'm gonna move this up a little bit. I'll attach a hose here, and I'll put a fitting on here, and then the water will drain out, and I can pull the two cards. And then basically, other than unplugging all the drives and stuff and the wiring, then I'm going to just pull the whole board out. It's a fairly simple operation. I'm going to go get the tubes I need for this. Then we'll drain that, and we'll see how that goes. I even did that. All right, you can see here I have the drainage tube hooked up. I'm going to stick it into this bottle here. Then I'll put a fitting on top here, and then all the water is draining out of it right now. She's drained. Now, there will be some residual fluid in the cards that I can't get because, well, just the nature of the cards. So what we're going to do now is we're going to disconnect the power from the cards. Right there, and then we're going to take off this little man, I don't know which one's going to be easier to take off. Normally I would have used a crossover pipe here. I don't know why I did it this way, but I'm going to have to get a screwdriver to pry that up. Okay, we're going to pry this up here. Not too concerned with it getting wrecked because I'll probably use a solid one in its place. There we go. Pull this off. Grab this. Screw in there. What do I do? Take the screw out. Take out the crossover. Take the screw out of there. There we go. There we have this board out. Take off this spine. Yeah, let's put this over here and here and here. And push down this tab. Okay, and that's our video. So let's put these. Okay, the two 580s are out of there. Now it's going to just be a matter of unplugging all the power cables and the drive cables. Okay, this drive, I have to mark these cables so I get them in there the right way. Okay, these go up, this one's there, so anyhow, here I have a Q connector. You can see that, like I've got with the new motherboard. That's what I like about them. I'm just able to unplug this, and when I stick the new board in there, just plug that back in. USB connectors, it's pretty straightforward. Audio. Okay, and this is a fan here. So basically, all I've got to do is mark these so I plugged them in correctly onto the new board, and then you can pull this out and take off the CPU cooler and transfer it to the new board. And this board will go in another machine. All right, I marked all the cables so I know where they go. I'm mostly concerned, of course, with the boot drive. That's the drive that's going to bring up the new board, and hopefully without a hitch. Who knows? But I took all the board screws out, and I've just got this one left that's in the center of the board. Okay. Normally I have to lay the system down but for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to do this. There we are. I'll put this up here for now. And pop the back plate out. And now this system is ready for the board in the main game machine. So I'll set this aside, and I'll put take off the processor cooler and put it on this board. Alright, so now I'm just going to take the pressure off of this cooler here. This is a 360 cooler, and the one that's on the game machine is the same thing. This of course mounts just slightly different because it has a plate that goes through it, and these springs. Okay, so there we go. Springs there. So like there. This there we have the processor off, and we can clean her up. And this, of course, is open. This is going to be air cooled in a kind of a business machine, so it's not going to need same kind of cooling we had when I was doing some. You know, it'll only have a signal card on it, and it's going to be for more of a processing machine than anything else. But this is the way the cooler mounted went through the bottom. On the 1120 socket, we have the pins that screw into it, and then we have here some nice black screw-on type for the springs. Plus we have little washers to go with it. Let's get the springs in there. We have the springs, and we should have 4 of these washers. This is the 4th washer, I guess. Okay, this other mounting hardware is for a different type of mounting. Goes in there. So all I have to do is clean off this processor here, and then we're going to mount it on the cooler on the new board. That's the in, that's out. The main game machine, and this is the X79 board. You can see it's set up water-wise the same way, except for here I couldn't put a snap-on type because the curve was just too radical. So it's a matter of this and this, and the processor is disconnected. It's going to stay where it's at, and just throw it in the other machine. And it's going to be a pretty simple crossover. It's our main power USB 3. This is our PCIe cable. And then of course this one. You can see there's been no drips or spills whatsoever taking this apart. This, you can see I used a metal one. I use the same one on here because card space is the same. These are kind of tight, but they work all right. I don't have any of the solid ones that size, so I'll have to use that. Okay, so now what we have to do is drain this guy out. So we're going to get our drain tubes and stuff here. Where did I put that? Oh, there's this one here. You can see some of it starting to want to come out right there. And then what we want is one that just, getting my genders mixed up here, I meant to get a male to plug into the female here to drain this out. You can see some of it wants to come out now. So we'll just if there's any spillage, it'll be because of me. Okay, so that's drained. Yeah, we take out the okay. Now I have a newer style pipe that I'm probably going to use to go across there. It's not so rigid to get in. Let's see. Okay, so the back, I'll take off the back plate on here to get at the, there's my screwdriver right there. To get at the, okay, that's this one here. But before I do that, I have to take these two thumb screws out and slip off this plate that holds the other end, and I'm going to take off this, let's see, this one here. Take that off. Push down on this. Is this one holding it too? I guess that one's holding it too. Right, this is a two-plate thing. It doesn't have a single plate. Okay, that's 1,780 out of there. And let's see, got two here to take out. Take out this. So I'm talking about with these cards, you can't get it all out of there because of the nature of the way they're put together. Okay. So see, I've got to kind of these color coded here so that I know where they go, And then I'll just mark these so that I know which is which. Okay, so these will actually go into the faster ports on that one. They should have gone here, but that was for SSD. A little bit of dirt in this. I'll have to clean that out. Okay, then we just unplug again. We got the Q connector. Makes things easier. USB, sound. Fan header. I think that's the only fan header I have to plug in. Okay, so now this will be one. Oh, it won't be like that. It won't. I'm gonna have to get a marker for that. I've marked the cables, and for demonstration purposes again, I've just got one screw left here on the motherboard before I thought I did. Whoa, which one did I miss? This one down here? Yeah, there's one down here. Okay. Doesn't even know if it's the center or it's this one. Well, that last screw I didn't see because it went in this cover here, which I wasn't expecting or don't remember doing that. See if I can get the it's not getting in there. What in the heck is going on here? I have to use a narrower head here, I think. I'll try this one once. Yep. Yep, that one. Got it. And drop this down a little bit. Buy these cables. Forgot to take off the CPU power. Okay. Now we have it out of the machine. It's ready to go into the other machine. So now it's just a matter of mounting the other board, and I'll probably lay the machine down to make it easier for me to do that. After I take this plate out, it'll just be easier because that board is so heavy compared to that board. And we'll come back when I get the okay, I got the motherboard, new motherboard in the machine, and the SATA drives hooked up, the power, the USB cables, the input power cable, and the speaker and all that stuff is all hooked up. Now, one mistake you don't want to make is plugging this in too soon. Otherwise, water comes right out, and you're in trouble. Okay. I take this new style fitting that goes in between. You'll note that it collapses, so that I can just get this part on first. Then I move this guy up here and turn him on, like so. Screw this down. Okay. Then I can plug this guy in. Oops. Gotta take off this fitting before I had that on for draining. Okay. So you'll note the water starts coming out, and if you put it on while this was off, all done. This one here. I'm not going to worry about filling this up right away because I got plenty of water in the reservoir. It's way more than it needs. Okay, then I also have to make sure I got one extra power connector because it for the CPU that has to be put in there, and don't want to forget that. So I'm going to go and find another 4-pin connector to run up from the power supply up to the CPU up here, because you got an 8 and 4. Apparently this new type socket that they have in here, patent pending overdrive socket for the 2011 processor, needs the extra power. So let me go find a one to put in there. And then this machine will be ready to hook up, and I'll take that in into the game room and hook it up to the reservoir and stuff, and then hope it'll boot up. Just make sure I have everything done before I bring it over there, though. Well, everything came up the way it was supposed to. I did have to call into Microsoft to reactivate the operating system, but that's pretty normal when you change the processor board and memory. It's the same machine, just upgraded, so call it in. I've overclocked it to the base clock about 30%, which gives it just over 4 gigahertz. I think it can go higher. Here you'll notice this is a 2K display by Asus, has G-Sync and 3D capable. I have the version 2 3D glasses, which are much better than the version 1s. I had some difficulty with the 3D. I'm still working on that, but I'll let you know what happens there. But my main game machine is ready, and now it's time to go put the backup game machine together with the board that was in this machine. I've put the X79 board in a backup game machine already. You can see that everything is in there the way it should be. I had to make this kind of goofy loop here for the outlet into the card here because the angle is just weird, and it's the only way I could get a piece of tubing in there without kinking. This is 3/8, so it's pretty. It's not real flexible for tight turns. I don't have any metal covering that I can put over it to accommodate that. So I mean, it's not unpleasant. And then I've got a jumper here on the power cable so I can push some fluid through here. The tank on this is in a takes up two 5 1/4 bay opening, and it's a dual tank. It has the motor in it, and it's filled from the front. So what I'm going to do is pump some water through here. I'm going to turn this on. Let it run for a little bit. I got a 140 millimeter fan here, and one in front that blows across the drives, and then this blows across the cards, and it also helps cool some of the electronics on here, such as the chipset. So, and it's an overall wide open space. It's difficult to hide a lot of the wiring, and I'm not going to get so anal about it that I've got to have everything out of the way. The other guys want to make it, you know, perfectly clean. Well, I'm in this thing too many times to you know, go through that much effort, and it is a lot of effort to do that. If I was going to leave this machine just sit and not do anything inside of it, I would probably do the same thing, but I'm in it all the time, so this is the way it is. It's plenty clean looking enough for it the way it sits. Okay, everything is operating. I don't see that operating. Why is that? Oh, that's because the system board isn't on. I'd have to come around to the front here and open up one of the fill ports here. I'll go with this one here. That one's the lowest tank. It's a dual tank thing. And I'm going to take some. Oops. Forgot to take the cover off the. I have to get this open so I can put the fluid in, so. Come on. All right. Now let me turn it on again here. Let's put just a little bit more in here. Those are up. Don't completely fill it all the way up because you want to leave some room for expansion in there. If you fill the reservoir to completely the top, you're looking for a blowout, and you don't want that. So I'm going to let it run for a little while and make sure that there's no leaks in it, and let some of the air get out of the system. And then we're going to take it over and plug it in and make sure that everything comes up the way it's supposed to and it's working the way it's supposed to. Okay. Alright, we're going to power it up. We have the backup game machine hooked up now. We're going to power it up and see what happens. Okay. It's acting like it's the first time, which it thinks it is. Yeah, we'll go into the BIOS first. Huh. Didn't even give me a chance. Right to Windows. I'm sure I'm going to have to call Microsoft again and reactivate this, because it's getting devices ready. When you see that, normally it's thinking it's like a new install. Okay, we're up to the lock screen here. And we tilt this up just a bit here. There we go. Okay, it looks like well, you notice down here in the corner it says Windows 8 Pro with Media Center build 9600. That's telling me that I gotta unlock this again, so I'm gonna have to get on the phone and call support, punch in a bunch of numbers, and then they're gonna tell me it's okay, and I'll be running normally like I should be. So let me do that and make sure that that happens. Okay, I called in to Microsoft and they activated it as usual. I'm pretty much all set to go here. Everything is loaded the way it's supposed to, and that's all there is to it. See you later.